That's Retro Fandango. When it's Android over iPhone, and you can keep your stupid amiibo and always bashing on Nintendo. Well, that's Retro Fandango. That's Retro Fandango. Thanks, Retro Fandango. Wow!
Oh, and I can remove that. There we go. Good old classic opening there. I couldn't find the Dukes of Hazzard one. It's somewhere.
I don't think I've ever seen this one.
I can't remember what I had it for. I did it for something. I can't remember what. So I apologize, everyone. Apparently my mic is echoey. I just got a brand new mic, and I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah, and I see you've trashed me in the comments already.
I didn't trash.
Waiting for Richard was I never got sent a link.
That was 2
until
minutes.
I had to beg for it.
That was 2 minutes after you got your link that question came in.
Mm-hmm.
And so you had the link for 2 minutes. So technically, we were waiting for you.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
At that point. Now you got a link at 4:01, so you can. But at 4:03,
that's what people have been waiting for.
Great audio for the audio only crowd.
Well, one of us moved into a cardboard box.
Yeah, see, Rocket Sauce says it sounds like I'm using a webcam mic, but I am. I'm using this mic, not this one.
You got to bring it like right up to your face.
I got to talk into it like this. Hello. Yeah. Can you hear me now? Do I sound echoey?
You know, it doesn't really sound all that much better, though.
This mic sucks. That's great.
It could just be the acoustics in your room. Which are we gonna? Can we jump right into that? Because I've got questions.
Oh yeah, I guess
questions.
I mean, most people who watch this show or listen to this show follow us on social media, so they already know that the reason why the show. I think we haven't done an episode since July.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to come back. Like, we didn't want to break any sort of what's that other show that we pick on all the time? Man, it's been a while. What's that show with Joe and Bill? SDC Pond. We didn't want to break any of their records, so we thought we would come back before, they would. Anyways, show's a little choppy for Rocket Sauce too. I would suggest you reset. Try resetting.
The problem is obviously on your end, Ryan.
Yes, because everything's fine here. It's all good here. Anyways, so the reason why the show has been off for a while is because I've moved. I was in Stouffville. I quit my job, and Sarah quit her job, and we moved to Sudbury, Ontario. Well, it's actually Chelmsford, which is just outside of Sudbury, and we did that to be closer to our family and friends, and it's been working out. It's been working out really well. We've been socializing again. It's been many, many years.
Socializing in what capacity?
Well,
like real life socializing?
Yeah, like I went out the other night for a game night. I guess last Saturday. Now I thought it was going to be board games, but it was mostly those. We did this once at Hodge's place, where you have a game on the PlayStation or the Switch, and other people can join in using their phones.
Right. Okay.
So it's like trivia questions or put in silly answers, those kind of games. So there's like Fibbage and, Dash, games with Dash. Jack in the Box games. They're Jack in the Box games. I'm worried about my mic. I'm so obsessed. I'm gonna be like crouching down like this.
Just develop your mighty old man hump right away.
Maybe if I put it up on something.
Yeah, you got a phone book.
The phone book. What century are you living in?
They don't throw those on your doorstep anymore.
I was staying at my in-laws for a little bit, and my mother-in-law has like the last 5 phone books in that that was delivered in Sudbury. It's like she kept them, like she was worried like she'd never get another phone number again.
Are you serious? Like they don't make phone books anymore?
No, phone books are gone, man.
Really?
Yeah, like they were like the actual phone book from Bell Canada.
Mhm.
They don't make them anymore. And there were some like third-party companies that were coming in and doing like a half-assed phone book. It was mostly full of ads that they
Mhm.
wanted, but that's gone by the wayside. Nobody has phone
Wow.
books anymore.
I'm pretty confident we still get phone books here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
think so. We don't use
everything's
them,
on.
but
Everything's
shows up at your
online.
door. Yeah, it makes sense, I suppose.
So, anyways, yeah, we had an actual. So it was like one of those kind of nights where we did that, and then we played some card games, not like Ace to King and Joker kind of, but like played a game called Cards Against Humanity.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's silly answers, and then we played a game called You Got Crabs, where it's kind of like a match.
Is that a game or a lifestyle?
It's a little bit of both. It was an interesting game. It's like a match four. You match four cards, and you're collecting like images of crabs, like they're cartoon crabs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a stack of crabs, and basically, if you think that so once you get a match of four, you have a partner at the table, and you have to give your partner a subtle hint that you have four of a kind. And then they call out, you got crabs. And if you do that, your team gets a point. But if somebody else picks up on your subtle hint before your teammate does and say, you got crabs, then they get the point.
Ah, all right.
Yeah.
So can you give us an example? We've got one viewer. What is like one of your subtle hints? How would you give Sarah the old like?
Well, actually, Sarah did not go because she doesn't really like board games, but she would have had fun at this one because it wasn't traditional cards. Like there's this game called Euchre that's really big. When we were in high school and in college, and people took it very seriously. Like you'd play it during lunch breaks. Or if you had a spare, you'd go in the cafe and you'd play euchre. And people took it incredibly seriously. Like there are certain rules you had to follow, certain etiquette you had to follow. And if you didn't really know how to play, people got really impatient with you. And I think that scared off a lot of people. No, see, Rocket Sauce says euchre is big, or he is too. So I think that scared off a lot of people from cards. But these weren't like those kind of card games, and it was very casual. So I think she would have had fun with all that stuff. So,
hey, Derek's here.
So I ended up going with my buddy Frank. See, I'm hanging out with people again.
Oh my goodness!
Stuff. So,
how awkward is that?
By the way, did you see Derek's post on the Twitter? I know you just woke up, but you probably missed it. You should go check out his Twitter page because he posted this photo of the back of his truck or his SUV. I still call them trucks, and it was full of VHS tapes.
Oh my goodness!
Ram full, like the entire bed was VHS tapes laid out on their spines, and then there was another layer on top of that. I don't know how many VHS tapes. What's on those tapes?
Cow,
Rocket Sauce asks, and Derek says TV and movies. So I don't know if they're recorded.
Okay, I thought some of these were still wrapped. The way he's got like all those Fuji films just like organized one next to the other.
It's very neatly put together.
Yeah, extremely. Holy cow! You guys do whatever you want, but I just don't understand this. I check out Instagram. I see all of Chris's uploads, all the commercials and everything. And I know somebody's got to do that because, you could say, well, you could just go to YouTube and see all those. But somebody's doing it. Somebody's putting all that stuff in. But, man, the dedication. All have content on them, all numbered, but I did not get the index book.
How's that? Is that good? I can hide behind my microphone.
That's a little better.
Yeah?
A little better.
I guess I'm going to have to put some stuff up. I think just hanging photos, like imagery up, will help with the sound.
All right, now there's another one of my questions. So far, you've hinted at Sarah. You know,
Yeah.
you say, all right, yeah, Sarah's here, and but she didn't go to the game night with you. I
No.
don't see her on camera there. I don't know what you got behind you. That looks like some, bachelor pad style stacking behind you. Are you telling us the whole truth here?
Yeah, Sarah and I are still together. There's no.
Okay.
It's not a bachelor pad. If you want to know what's really behind me, over here are board games, and this is kind of a temporary setup here. Eventually, we'd like to get something to put in the corner that has drawers and that, but for right now, it's just that. But if I roll out of the way, that is Sarah's messy desk
All right.
that she hasn't fixed up yet. So she is
Wow,
still here.
you're just trashing her already.
Well, it's a messy desk. I got some messy parts of the house. None of them are on camera.
Well, you got crabs, I know.
Yeah, I did I win that game? I think I might have.
Did you get crabs at the party?
Yeah.
All right.
I tell you, if I really wanted to, I might have been able to, because there was a guy there that I'm not going to mention any names, but he was a character and a half. And he just happens to be gay. He was a gay man, and he hit on me a few times, and he also hit on my buddy Frank a few times. He was also stoned and drunk.
That was going to be my very next question.
So that might have been the reasons why. I don't think the audio is coming from that mic. Yeah, that's what everybody's saying, but it is. I don't know how to
Yeah,
it's coming from there, right?
Yeah, you're just. How high is your ceiling?
I don't know. It's like a normal ceiling.
Are your walls angled at a?
No angle.
Just in a regular box.
Yeah, I think it's just this mic. I guess this mic's not very good.
Any other furniture in that room? Nothing squishy.
There's this desk, and then there's Sarah's desk. There's a Murphy bed.
A lot of hard surfaces. Huh?
Maybe if I open up the Murphy bed, maybe that'll help.
Maybe wrap the mattress around you.
No, I can't. I'd have to get out of the chair. It's so good. Yeah. But yeah, there was a gay man there, and then he was bragging about all the STDs he caught, and Krabs. I'm not sure if Krabs was one of them, but all right. Do you want me to switch to the webcam?
The people are demanding. Look at this.
Okay, I'll switch to maybe the webcam mic is better. Okay, so audio, mic. Okay. Testing. This is my webcam mic. It sounds the same.
I'm gonna have to see a show of hands on this. I kind of prefer the first mic.
See, now if I hit this, nothing will happen, right?
No. It sure looks good though.
Yeah, sure. Way worse. Okay, so there we go.
Right.
There we go. Okay. So
You sound more distant.
Now we have the proof. The proof is in the pudding. I never understood that. What does that mean?
Oh my God.
Thanks for the mic.
All right. Yeah, I go with this mic.
Yeah.
All right. So I got a couple of my questions answered. The where is Kevin?
Yeah, I'm in Chelmsford, Ontario.
Chelmsford.
Chelm. Or as the locals here call it, Chemmy.
Oh, that's cute.
When I called the local pizza joint, Pizza Pizzazz, to order a pizza, and this very adorable voice answered the phone. It must have been a girl of, I don't know, in her teens or early 20s, but she answered the phone. Pizza Pizzazz, Chemmy.
I'm surprised you didn't just hang up out of confusion.
No. I thought it was adorable. I wanted to order 2 pizzas.
Derek, the room is just too big then. Sell the house.
Yeah. We're actually going to have trouble selling this house when it comes time to sell it, because the reason why we were able to get it is it doesn't have a living room. It has 2 rec rooms, and that seemed to throw a lot of people off. So,
Isn't it just a room?
yeah.
Can't you put it in whatever you want into it and make it whatever you want?
Well, that's what we did. We actually took one of the bedrooms. We took the master bedroom, and we made that a sort of like a sitting room, TV room, kind of. That's where Sarah's hanging out right now.
It's all where you want to be. When I grew up in Jersey, I had family that lived a little while away. We'd always go over there for Christmas, and this was the Italian side of my family. You walked in the front door, you were in the dining room.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody went to the living room. That was like upstairs. There were sofas. There was a big TV. Nobody went up there. They all sat in the dining room table.
Yeah. That was my Nona's place. Was the exact same. You walked in, and we walked into the kitchen, and everyone hung out in the kitchen. The kids would go into the living room and watch TV.
Yeah.
The adults, like, they would only go to the living room because you had to go through it to get to the bathroom. That was
okay.
it.
Mm-hmm. I can't keep up with the comments now. Hey, Dean's here.
Oh.
What up, Dean?
Put a bed in there, and boom, bedroom. It's how it works. It's whatever you want, right? Derek says, when my wife was a kid, they had 2 living rooms. One you used and one you did not use. The one you used was in the basement. Yeah, I've gone to a few Italian homes that were like that as well. My aunt and uncle, his parents, which is like, I'm related to my uncle through marriage, so I don't know what that makes these people, but they were Italian. You walked into their house. They had a living room and a kitchen. Nobody used either. It was like a full-on kitchen with stove, fridge, everything, a dining room set and everything. Never used it. The living room, never used it. All the furniture was in plastic. You go down to the basement, another full-on kitchen down there. That's the one that they used. That's the one where she cooked all of her meals. Another full-on dining room down there. That's where everybody ate. And then the rec room was where they lived. That was their living room space.
Yeah, at least he had another room you could use. I had a friend, I'd go over to his house, same thing. The couch was in plastic, but nobody could sit on it. So we'd walk in and just have to sit right there on the floor.
You weren't allowed to sit on
You weren't allowed to sit on the couch. You'd wrinkle the plastic.
Oh my goodness.
So protective of their furniture.
Yeah. I mean, that's we've always been of the mindset that furniture is for using. You want to use it. You don't want it to just sit there for show.
Yeah.
So.
Oh gosh. Imagine recording during work hours. Steven's here and I don't know what that means.
I guess we
wait, I see. There's no punctuation. Imagine recording during work hours.
Right.
He's complaining.
Right.
That yeah.
We're recording during his work hours, not his off time. But this is the time we have with Richard. He lives in Japan. This is it. This is what we get. And it's fun. It works for me, so
the audio is being saved. You can listen to this anytime.
I hope it is. I hope I hope I remembered how to do all that. So,
oh my goodness.
So
all right, so we know where Kevin is.
Yeah.
I have a fun question here.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody will appreciate. What did Kevin toss?
Oh,
you moved.
Goodness.
When you move, you throw stuff away.
Yeah.
And I know that you were on the fence about a whole lot of things. I see a bunch of board games behind you. I do not see the video games. I do not see the movies. I'm sure the movies are there somewhere. But
yeah.
I have my doubts about how many video games survived the trip.
I got rid of a ton of stuff. a lot of stuff, and we still have a ton of stuff.
Now,
Way
see,
too
that's
much
the
stuff.
safe answer. You can say you got rid of a ton of stuff, but you have to say like, oh, but I still have
Okay,
a ton.
so well, the majority that I got rid of was music equipment. I am down. I had somewhere between, I can't even remember, maybe about not quite 10 guitars, but more than 5, somewhere in between there.
Mhm.
And I'm down to just 3 guitars, an electric, an acoustic, and a guitar that my friend's dad gave me. So that's it. We got rid of Sarah's drum kit. I got rid of my bass guitar. I got rid of my bass amp. All sold on Facebook Marketplace. Sold some guitar pedals. Sold, man, I can't remember what else.
The guitars that you saved, are those for display, or are you allowed to play them?
No, I'm allowed to play them. We have a music room set up with all of our records in them, and my guitars and amps are in there. They're not set up yet. Getting there. Like our house is probably about I don't know, maybe 65% done. All the big stuff is done. It's a lot of like little stuff that still needs to be done.
That's not bad though, because I, from the outsider perspective, it was like 4 months ago. You said, "Hey, we're thinking about moving," and I'm sure you were thinking about it for much, much longer before then, and it's probably been a constant every day you're doing something.
Oh yeah,
for you, but for me, it's like, 4 months and you're already, settled in. Wait,
wow, yeah, no, it's been so like every day it's been crazy busy. Like only this week things have finally started to let up, and I thought that we would only be gone for like maybe a month or two, but one thing that happened, like it was very nerve wracking. The first thing that happened is I thought it would only take us like a week to sell our house. And there was no reason not to believe that because there was 2 other homes just within this calendar year that had sold within a week. The sign for the real estate agent hadn't even gone up, and the house was already sold. So things were going so fast. And then when we decided to put up our house, that is right when the government decided to raise interest rates to battle inflation, which we knew was going to decrease the value of our home. But we did not predict that it was actually going to stagnate the housing market because everybody was in a holding pattern. What do? Do we buy now? Do we sell now? Let's just rent for another year and wait and see what happens next year, because nobody wanted to be stuck with a huge mortgage, right? So it took us a month to sell the house, which was a lot longer than we thought. But we're actually very lucky because there were many homes that were in. I guess not many, but there were a few homes that were in and around our price range and our style of home, and some of them didn't sell at all. They just pulled their house off the market and decided to do, change their plans or whatever. There was one house that went up that was exactly like ours, and they were asking for $1,000 more. Meanwhile, our house had the better location, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were where their house was a busier street. Our house is a very quiet neighborhood. So it was interesting to see how people, like looked at what we were doing and would put that into their strategy. But that house didn't sell. It didn't sell at all, and ours did. But we also got lucky because it was weird. Like the week that we sold the house, there was like, week 1, week 2, week 3. A lot of people were looking at the house, but no offers, nothing at all. And we were really starting to feel like, oh man, this might be a long haul. And we have a bit of money in our war chest to carry us through this ordeal, but we didn't really want to use it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But we were because we quit our jobs, right? And I'm like, maybe I should have kept my job for a bit. Maybe we should have waited until we actually sold the house. But there was other stuff going on too. We were looking after Sarah's parents who were not doing very well, and we were going back and forth from Stouffville to Sudbury, and there was a lot of other stuff that was going on. But the week that we sold our house, on the Monday, we got a call from our real estate agent, and he said, "Hey, somebody that looked at the house early on wants to. It sounds like they're going to be putting in an offer. So get yourself ready." I'm like, "That's great." And then somebody else who looked at the house recently had all sorts of questions about the house. Like, what about this thing? What about that thing? What about like stuff that wasn't in the listing, just a little small little things, which was a really good sign that, something's going to happen, right? They're going to be putting in an offer if they want to know all the details of the house.
Mhm.
So that was on Monday, Tuesday. On Wednesday, we had somebody wanted to see the house on Thursday. And I jokingly said to Sarah, "Hey, we already got 2 offers in the books. Should we waste our time showing this house to someone else?" And she was like, "Oh my God, yes, we got to show this house." I'm like, "I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Relax. It's all good. I agree. We need to show the house to every potential. You never know what's going to happen." So so the person comes in on Thursday, and it was weird because they showed up early. They wanted, I think it was 3 o'clock, and by 2:30 they were there, and we were just like getting ready to leave because normally we leave, and then they let them look at the house, right? They get the real estate agent gets a lockbox number, and they go around and they look at the house. They showed up at 2:30, and the guy was like, the real estate agent was like, "I'm so sorry, we're early, but do you mind if we come in and take a look?" And we're like, "Just give us 5 minutes and go nuts," right? So they go into the house, and the real estate agent's like, "Do you mind if you just stay here and not leave? Because I don't want to have to wait for the lockbox," because he would have to wait till 3 o'clock to get the lockbox number to lock up the house and all that. It's like, we're only going to take 15 minutes. And we're like, "Okay, sure." So we just stood outside. And when they were done, the real estate agent came out. He had a whole bunch of questions because we didn't use a traditional real estate agent. We used the property guys, which is like, they don't take a commission off the sale of your house. You pay them a flat fee up front.
Mhm.
And then you can pay a little extra to have a real estate agent, which we did to do the negotiating and all that. So it works out way cheaper, right? Instead of them taking, 2.5% off of $1 million home, which comes out to a lot. They only charge, it was only like $8,000, which sounds like a lot of money, but it's a lot less than 2.5% of $1 million.
Mhm.
So he had a whole bunch of questions because he had never dealt with the property guys before. He's like, "I don't understand. Like, do I talk to you? Do I talk to them?" And then the people who were looking at the house came out, and they had a bunch of questions. And so we actually got to meet them and talk to them for a little bit. So they had left, and next thing you know, they were putting in an offer on the house. Those first 2 like potential offers that looked like were going to happen never came to be. Never happened, right?
Bunch of looky-loos.
Yeah, I guess so. But it was weird that they had all these questions about the house, because normally looky-loos just don't care, right? They're just like, "This isn't for me. I'm out of here," right? But this one,
it's a big decision. It makes sense, Ask as many questions as you want. Asking's free.
Sure. So then they put in an offer on the Thursday night. It's a low ball offer. It is, I think it was $40,000 less than we were asking. It was really down there, way down there. We're like, "Oh man, this kind of sucks," because I don't know if we want to go that low, but we haven't had any other offers. What are we going to do? Real estate agent's like, "We'll talk about this Friday morning." They gave us till noon on Friday to make a decision, so we'll wait until then. Like, all right, perfect. So Sarah and I are talking. We don't know what to do. Lo and behold, somebody who saw the house like on the first or second day that went up on the market put a bid in on the house, just like that. Out of nowhere, these 2 dentists who had seen the house put in a bid. We're like, "Oh this is good because now we got a little bit of a bidding war happening, right? So we waited till the next morning. We talked to the real estate agent. He's like, okay, the bid was like $50,000 less than we were asking. It was even lower, but the people that we met, the first bid, they don't know that, right? So we just told them, hey, we got a second offer in on the house. So if you want this house, you might want to think about, maybe doing better. So they came back with a very reasonable offer, and that's how the house sold. So there's your lesson. Always say yes to any showing. Never say no.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, the showings were it was work because you had to every time. It's like you got to set up the house. You got to turn on all the lights. You got to put all the stuff away and all that, and get it to look good. Spray the cookie smell around the house, like fresh baked cookies. All that stuff.
There
So
you
there you go.
Yeah. Well, I guess, is there any, I suppose the real estate agents have a code. They can't just tell everybody, oh yeah, there's another bid just came in. Doesn't mean there is one, just to get the juices flowing.
Yeah, no. It's kind of ridiculous the way that it's done. Like in Australia, they have all their houses are sold with an open auction. There's if you want a house, it goes up for auction on this day. Everybody who wants it shows up. You can show up in person or show up online or whatever, and it's all an open auction. You know how much exactly the house is going for. Yep. There's no real estate agents or anything. It seems like a lot better system than we have here. But okay. So Dean says his neighbor pulled his house off the market as well. The raising interest rates really shook people up for a bit. Yeah, it really did throw people off. And Dean also says he downsized his guitar collection as well, down to 3: PS3, Xbox 360, and Wii Aerosmith edition. Yeah. Well, you were asking about the video games. I kept a lot of video games for inventory for the Barrie Game Exchange, because I still do plan on going to the Barrie Game Exchange. Barrie's only 3 hours away, and it's if Bill's available and all that, it'd be good to see him and all that fun stuff. So still plan on doing all of that. But as for what I have set up, I just have this generation and the last generation. I don't have any Nintendo or anything. If I want to play that, I got the RetroPie, and I'll just play it on the RetroPie, and that's it. So the only reason I did the PS3 and 360, the PS3 has the PlayStation Move games. So every once in a while, I like to do the light gun shooter games, which they don't have this generation, as far as I know. So I have a bunch. I got the Resident Evil games, the House of the Dead games. That there's a Dead Space game that was a light gun. I have all those that are. So I kept the PS3 ready to go for that. It's on a power bar that I can turn off, so it's not sucking any phantom power. So I have that out there, and I have the Wii U set up, ready to go to play original Wii games and Wii U games. Plus, it's hacked too, so I can play. I can download stuff on there and play all that stuff too.
I'll tell you, my tolerance for gaming is declined severely over the years. But the one thing I will do is play Wii bowling for 5 minutes and have a grand old time.
Yeah. Well, I got that hooked up for that, the Wii Sports and all that stuff. Yeah, it's good times.
It's amazing how well those hold up. As long as you're not, I'm playing this constantly. 5 minutes here and there. It's fantastic. Alrighty. Well, I imagine then you're probably going to have game nights instead. Well, you're probably going to bring the party to your place.
Yeah, and tomorrow night we actually have a movie night set up. Ooh. Yeah, so it's just me and my friend and his girlfriend and Sarah, and we're going to watch the new Weird Al movie with Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah.
What is that on? What platform?
For us here in Canada, it's Roku, which is like they mostly make the hardware for you to access Netflix and all that stuff. So if you have a
Mhm.
dumb TV, you don't have a smart TV, that's the way to do it. And they've been making their own content as well. So that's what it
Not
is
that you
here.
mentioned, I think I heard this. Can you just go to their website, like, and stream it from their site?
Maybe, I don't know. I really
Hmm.
don't know.
I am curious. I was interested in watching that. I heard it got pretty good reviews.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that and well, my birthday's coming up on December 12th. Mark it on your calendar. Get ready to send me a gift or two. So I have that planned up for game night. So we're gonna have a thing here and do some gaming there. So
Look at you interacting
Yeah.
with actual people.
yeah, it's great to be with people again. Who
Hmm.
knew? Oh, they have
Did
Roku
your
in the States. There you go.
did your movie collection survive? You didn't go tossing any of your movies, did you? Hey, you just trim it down.
There was just some like okay, like I went through. I don't like this movie. Just send it over to the Goodwill or the Mission Thrift, and then there
Mhm.
was some movies that I had on Blu-ray and DVD,
Mhm.
and I would most of the time got rid of the DVD, but sometimes I got rid of the Blu-ray because the DVD packaging was so good. I said, I want to keep this DVD like just for the packaging. I'll get rid of the Blu-ray because I'll probably never watch the movie again.
Well, you just put the Blu-ray disc in the DVD packaging.
Ah, why didn't I think of that?
Right.
That's what I'm gonna do. I still have some of them in the garage. So, yes, Bob Barker's birthday is on the 12th. Him and I do share a birthday. Also, Frank
Hey.
Sinatra. So there you go. Next, C3 in Sudbury. Yep, no sleep till Sudbury. Do it. All right. So
All
that's
right.
me. How long have we been talking for?
That's the last of my questions. Thanks,
Okay.
everybody. See you in another 4 months.
No, we got some questions for you as well. What have you been up to during this whole break?
The whole break. You
Should
want to
I-
give away my dirty secret?
Should I give the bombshell or let you do the bombshell?
You can do it. I don't care. I'm not hiding anything.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, people that listen to this show in North America, get ready. Hold on to your hats because our pal Richard visited your continent that you exist on. He came over here and ignored you. He came in,
That's right.
looked around, said, I don't want to talk to any of these people, and took it right off.
Indeed, I did.
That's what he did. No, you had a visit to New Jersey.
I did. I during the summer. Yeah, it's been so long now. Yeah, I just had the opportunity. Well, more, I made the opportunity just to go home and see family. And yeah, it was just one of those things where, gosh, how long it had been? Like 6 years since I had been to the States last. And yeah, I just hadn't seen my family in a long time. And I finally got a break from the retro Fandango schedule.
Yes. There you go. See, you're getting it already.
Family.
Derek saying he didn't visit us or even Kevin. Look at that.
No. I kept it under my hat because I knew it would be very difficult to make the time to do all of that kind of stuff. It would have been a great opportunity. But my kids, let's tell you how long it's been. My 13-year-old had not been to the U.S. since she was 3. My 8-year-old had never been to the U.S. So we needed a whole lot of family time, and I didn't want to do a bunch of running around and this and that. So went for about 3 weeks. Just hung out with my mom, my sisters, and yeah, that's all there is to say, really. You couldn't have taken a left turn on I-95 for 2,500 miles to visit me. I should have. Dean did make a trip over here.
That is true. That is true.
I feel like such a scumbag now, but
Dean is the only person you owe a visit to. There's absolutely nobody else.
that is true. I
Yeah.
probably owe Dean like 3 or 4 visits before I can see anybody else.
Yeah.
No, but it was fun. It was strange. So many things are different, just time wise. Some things were very curious. There was a ShopRite. Do you have ShopRite in Canada? Supermarket chain, no?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I went to a ShopRite and I went in like 2 or 3 times. You know, we would go there often. And after a while, my sister was like, "Did you notice that they're playing like America music every time you go into the supermarket?" Like, what are you talking about, America music? See, when you go in, like that first little lobby where you get your cart and make the turn into the store, it's like they're playing all this patriotic music. It's not the Star Spangled Banner, but it's something like America and all that.
What?
I was like, what are you talking about? So we went back, and then it's like we're eagles fly, and some kind of weird patriotic thing. And every store I went into, drugstores, dollar stores, regular places, they all had this little America goods section where you could buy flags, things with stars and stripes on them.
All made in China.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was like leftover from 4th of July or something, because I was there like late August, early September. Or is that a thing now? Like I noticed a lot more American flags on houses than I remember. Granted, I was in an area like my hometown, nobody lives there anymore. Everybody moved out. So I was completely unfamiliar with the areas I was in. So maybe they do that all the time. I don't know.
I don't know.
People were like, I don't know, is that like a side effect from the whole recent political goings-ons in America?
Well, people definitely
super divide.
See, like that's the thing. Like, you know, why not get right into it? Right, this whole thing where people are more divided. I don't think they're really divided. I think that people just don't understand each other the way they used to, or they get more worked up about.
That's what it is mostly. They get more worked up about things. People just love joining their side and saying, "Yeah, look at us."
Yeah. But really, like they're getting played by both sides, right? Like this whole thing with I don't care what side you're on. I don't care what side anyone's on about the whole abortion thing. But you know, both sides are playing towards everybody's heartstrings on the subject, right? Because the Republicans slowly chipping away at all the rights and the women's rights and all that. But on the other side, the Democrats had so many opportunities over the last 50 years where they could have put abortion into a law, made it a law, which it would have taken it out of the Supreme Court's hands. This is my basic understanding of it, by the way. If I got something wrong, I apologize in advance. But, and you know, not every Democrat would, like even Joe Biden, I think, didn't believe in abortion until the 90s or something like that. He was always pro-choice or whatever, or pro-life.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, like, so basically the Democrats don't rush to get any sort of legislation done in order to protect women's rights, because you get a result like the last election, right? Where traditionally the Democrats would have lost seats in the Senate and all that because people just naturally don't like whoever's in charge. Well, I'm going to vote for the other guy because I don't like the person, whatever job they're doing. And they were actually able to flip that for the first time in, I think, since the 40s, since World War II, because of the abortion issue. We have what the heck were we watching? I can't. Well, like you watch any sort of American TV, and we were at my in-laws a lot, who still do like the traditional television with the commercials and all that. They don't skip. I swear to God, like every commercial break was somebody running for Congress or the Senate, and the topic was always abortion. Oh, they're going to take away your rights. Oh, they're going to, just over and over again. And at that point, like when all that stuff happened, I'm like, you know what? I'm done with American politics. I just don't care. I'm Canadian. We have our rights. I'm just happy with that. And it's been a lot better. I haven't listened to any podcasts or watched any YouTube. Well, sometimes I watch that one guy on YouTube. But anyways, for the most part, I stay out of it. Everybody's getting played over there,
Yeah, well, it's a whole lot of getting excited over nothing. It's like I said, nothing is all that different one side to the other. Not a whole lot has changed one side to the other. People sure get aggravated about things, though.
I know, like, elections do have consequences and all that, and I get all that, and I do my duty. I do vote, but for the most part, the thing that kills elections is the people who don't vote. There's just nothing, like, they don't care because they feel like it doesn't matter who's in charge. And I totally get that. I totally get that sense and feeling and all that. When people tell me they don't vote, I was like, okay, well, But like, for instance, like our premier, he's pretty much a joke here in Ontario, which is basically like a governor in the States. He's our premier. He's complete. But, I think only like 40% of the people voted in the last election. And he got 20% of that vote. And that's how he's become a premier. So not very many people voted for him. But, if the people, but then on the other hand, the other parties didn't really have a leader who inspired people to vote, So it's on their hands as well. So, like Obama inspired people to vote, right? That's how he won. He would just, like, people who normally didn't vote would vote. Whether you agree with Obama or not, that's what he did. And I think that's the only politician I've seen to actually do that in a very long time. And I don't think anyone's done it since. Anyways, there you go.
I don't think we have a very political crowd. The number of comments has like screeched to a halt as soon as we started talking about politics, especially American politics.
Well, I did add some Canadian politics in there for you.
Well, if people want some excitement, I do have some bigger news, more important, earth-shattering news.
I'm listening.
I recently figured, you know what? Been a while since I watched any Tubi trash. And I was like, all right, let's see what's on there. No more Tubi TV in Japan.
What?
It's gone. I go to the site. It says, nope, not available in your area. I used to have an app on my phone, but I switched phones. I was like, all right, let me put it back on there. Nope, not available.
Oh, that's terrible.
What's up with that?
That's terrible.
Yeah. I don't know if I was ever really supposed to have it. Because you know how, like, streaming services they appeal to the region they're in, right? Like Netflix, 50% of the stuff that's on Netflix is local, like Japanese or even like Korean or something like that. But then you got all the Western stuff, and you get stuff from India, stuff from all over the place. But they, put a certain amount of content from the area that they're in. Tubi was always just, English speaking only. There was no option for subtitles for other languages. It was just garbage.
Yeah.
But I liked that garbage. It was tasty sometimes.
Yeah.
I watched a bunch of good movies on Tubi.
It sounds like Vox needs a VPN for rocket sauce.
Yeah, I don't have the patience to mess around with that. Plus, I don't even really watch streaming anymore. I can't tell you the last time I watched something on Netflix. I just watch. I buy movies, so I've been watching movies. Follow my Twitter. I've been posting images there.
Well, as a fellow person that not living in the United States, I can back you up on the VPN thing because they seem to never really work that well. Like, they work for a period of time maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then you got to start the whole process all over again or whatever. Like I've never bought a VPN blocker. I've only used the free stuff, so that might be why. But I've never had a successful run with a VPN, so I just don't bother with that stuff. I just download. If it's something that, I'll just go to the torrent site and download it. If there's something that I really want to see and it's not on any of my streaming services.
I actually do have Freevee on my phone. When I was in America, I downloaded it because we watched something on that, and I was like, oh, cool. So I put it on my phone, and then I came back here, and I never touched it, and I kind of doubt that it's going to work anyway.
Yeah.
But I do have it. I have a little icon.
We do have some political comments here. Derek says he doesn't enjoy politics. U.S. politics is even worse.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Sauce brings up a good point. Trump inspired people to vote against him, and Biden got more votes than Obama. So there you go. I don't know how much of that was Biden inspiring people.
That was Trump got Biden more votes.
Yeah, I think that falls into your first thing. But anyways.
Haha, not to be. Steve.
So
free. I have not to be.
To be or not to be? Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, there you go.
Oh. But I don't mind because I do prefer just to sit down and watch all the movies that I keep buying.
Yeah.
So why not? I've been making a mission for myself. Like all the movies that I've bought, I've been trying to watch them all because just like games, you got stuff that sits on the shelf.
Yeah.
But I've been going through and it's like, you know what? I might have a movie that I've watched it 100 times, and then I buy like the Blu-ray or something, but then I haven't actually sat down to watch that copy.
Yeah.
Right. So like I've got like the Spider-Man movies, 1, 2, 3. I've seen those so many times.
Yeah.
I got a nice box set of them. I still haven't watched them.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's been there for about 2-3 years.
So
I got a story for you. The other day, I went upstairs and Sarah was streaming on one of the services, Steel Magnolias. Steel Magnolias from the 80s. That chick flick from the 80s. And I'm like, you're streaming this? She says yes. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you have that on Blu-ray. She's like, I don't care. This is easier. So I go downstairs. I look at our Blu-ray collection. Not only do I find it in our Blu-ray collection, but it's still sealed.
Sealed, minty fresh.
So I brought it upstairs and I put it in there. I said, I'm not saying anything. It's just there. Still sealed. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm guilty of that. I'd watch something on Netflix or whatever just because all you got to do is click.
Yeah.
But, I've been changing that. So
cool. Yeah. Well, I've noticed that you've been posting on Twitter.
I figured I had to do something with my Twitter account.
Yeah. Well, it's good because then I could just look through it because you don't post anything else.
Yeah, so I figured I'd do that so that when we have these discussions and it comes up like, hey, have you seen this? I can just very quickly go ahead. Yes. Yes, I have.
I did peruse it.
I had a double feature last night.
What were the 2 movies you watched last night?
Search for Spock. And
that's right. Yeah.
Nacho Libre.
What did you think of Nacho? You like that movie?
I like that movie. I like it a lot. Me too. I've seen it a few times. I can't really say much for the cinematography because that Jared Hess, who did the Napoleon Dynamite movie before this, he really just likes static, flat shots. Every shot is just perfectly centered, and they're comedic shots. They're framed nicely. You know, you get a little, but there's very little camera movement. It's just flat shot, flat shot, flat shot, flat shot.
That's a good one, Dean. Sealed Magnolias. That's
Dean.
That's a rock star comment right there.
Comment of the podcast.
Yeah.
Rocket Sauce does comment on my Rambo post. I watched First Blood and Last Blood this month.
Those are good bloods to watch.
Yeah. Last Blood. It's Last Blood, yeah.
Yeah. I
I
still
got my
haven't.
comments.
I still haven't seen The World's End. That's
You
one of
will
those
enjoy
movies
it.
it just keeps
You will
eluding
enjoy
me.
it. Yeah.
I do want to see it.
It's like
It's
less
like-
than 2 hours.
You got Tremors 4. You got a second viewing of Tremors 4, and yeah.
I kind of fell asleep a little bit during that one.
Mm. What'd you think of Nobody with our
Oh, it was all
pal
right.
Bob Odenkirk? Yeah.
It was all right. It wasn't fantastic, but it was fun, you know. And it's most important thing. It's 90 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. It's
Nice
fun.
short movie.
It's not a movie that I would want to buy and like watch.
I bought it because it suddenly dropped in price on Amazon. This is one of my favorite things to do is go to Amazon and just monitor the prices of things. For example, Search for Spock. I just bought that because it dropped like below $5. And then what I do, I buy it and then I go check the price immediately after buying it and it jumps up.
Yeah, because they're down a
That
copy
happened
now.
with a bunch of movies, you know.
Yeah.
I just finally got a copy of the Bill and Ted movies. I got the 3-pack. Can watch those soon. But yeah, like a movie that is kind of like it's good, it's not great, it's so. If it's 90 minutes, that it makes up for so much of the movie's shortcomings. I will gladly watch it's kind of good 90-minute movie before I watch. Wow, that was a really good 3-hour movie.
Yeah, I picked up something on Amazon last night for the Black Friday sale, which have not been that great over the last few years.
I didn't even think about checking for Black Friday sales,
and it wasn't that good this time around. But there was one thing. Actually, there was two things. There was one thing. I'll tell you the thing I didn't get. They had the Three Stooges complete set of I think it was 149 shorts from the 30s all the way to the 50s for $35 on DVD.
I have that.
I really wanted to get it. You got it?
But I have that. I got that a few years ago. Yeah.
Well, they were showing the packaging, and it's just all a cake, right?
Uh-oh. Kevin's frozen. Is it just me, or can anybody comment? Does anybody still hear me? Kevin's frozen with a mighty claw. The timer's still going. Is anybody receiving me? Let's see. He is frozen. Good claw. Thank you, Derek. All right, let's see if we can get... let's attack him on the socials. Oh, it's just me now. Oh, my goodness. All right. Let's see. Canadian Grooves. Oh, boy. Pose the same way. Did his new house come with internet? All right, let's see. At
Hello?
Oh, there he is.
Is it still going? The thing's still going? All right.
Yeah, the timer's still going. You just dropped out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hardwire this computer to the router because
you got some Boo Earns.
I got some fiber or Wi-Fi card in this thing, and it doesn't.
You people with your Wi-Fi! I got a hard cable sticking out of this computer.
That's what I need to do. See you, Derek. Thanks for hanging out.
Derek.
More like Dudbury. Oh, Dean's on fire, man. On fire.
Oh my goodness.
Nah, it's this Wi-Fi card in this computer. It's no bueno. I gotta run a wire. That's what I'll be doing tomorrow. That's it. Enough of this. So that DVD set? Is it all just a cake? Like one?
No, it's a big box, and then you open it up, and then there's like the individual boxes for each collection.
Yeah, that's what I would want. This thing was it's just a cake. Like it just sits there.
Yeah, I remember seeing like a Married with Children or News Radio or some of those shows, and I was like, oh, that's cheap. I'll get that. And then you see it's just that spindle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what my Sanford and Son set is, and it's a pain because like when you're going through the whole season, and then you get down to like, this, 35 of 40, and it's
Yeah,
okay.
I would probably agree with you on that, because even if I bought it, then I'd say like, well, I'll put it in little slips, the
Yeah.
the DVDs individually, but then like I'm not gonna do that. I want the case.
If I'm going to do that, then I might as well just download them all and just watch them that way. Sorry, but if you're not going to put
Fair
it in
enough,
proper packaging. So what I did get though was the complete series on Blu-ray of the Twilight Zone, all 157
Ooh, you got the Blu-ray
for $50 or $52.
I have the DVD set of those, and I was watching through, and I got to one episode. It's the episode where it's like the old people playing kick the can. You know that one?
Not sure. I haven't
It's like
seen
old
them all.
people, and then they kind of like they de-age, they become younger at heart, and
Nope.
anyway, I got to that episode, and like the disc would stop reading like halfway through the episode, and you get that digital distortion. I was like, oh man, one disc is screwed up in this, and I don't know. And then I thought about, should I just get the Blu-rays for it? But
I don't know if your thrift stores do this in Japan, but ours, like for $3, they'll resurface the disc, so it might be worth a shot to try to get it working again.
I imagine they don't do that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Dean wants to know our thoughts on the new Christmas Story movie. I didn't know there is one.
I heard something about it, like the Ralphie actor,
Oh,
Peter Billingsley is back.
He's like an adult
or
now.
something.
Okay, yeah, I did hear about that.
I don't know anything about it other than that.
Yeah, me neither. I don't.
I am interested in watching It's a Wonderful Life again this year. I watched it like last year or 2 years ago or something. I'm really interested in watching that again.
I haven't seen that in a very long time.
It's such a good movie. It's so well made.
Yeah, out of all the Frank Capra movies, that's he's a very corny director, but it works at Christmas time. That's what you want, is a wholesome corniness. But we missed, because we were so busy and all that, we missed like normally at Halloween time we would watch all the horror films, like what I like, stuff that I like sci-fi from the 50s and stuff like that. And so I'm thinking maybe next month we'll do that. We'll do a month of horror films during Christmas time.
There you go.
I don't know how that'll go over, but
I watched a ton of scary horror Halloween time movies.
Well, I see They Live. You watched that.
Well, I didn't start posting until November, but I've still kept my log here. I've been one of my little joys is I've made every night movie night. I try to watch a movie every single day.
Yeah, I see that.
At the end of the day, I save a little time for myself, because I've asked my wife countless times, you want to watch a movie together? No, she likes her movies. I like my movies. We very rarely combine on the same film. Plus, she just prefers to read. So I take a little time to watch a movie for myself. And in October, I did watch all of the Child's Play movies, all the Chucky movies. I have not seen the new show. I am curious to see that. I don't know. I watched Shaun of the Dead. I watched Tremors 2, Beetlejuice, Van Helsing, Army of Darkness, The Jerk. Not a Halloween movie, but that kind of worked its way in there.
It's got some scary moments when those cans start exploding for no reason.
He hates these cans. Stay away from the cans. I don't know. I was I think you watched the Chucky movies like a year or two ago.
Last year, yeah.
Yep. And I said, like, yeah, I've seen every one of those. Every one that I've seen, I've liked. And then you were like, even part 3? Apparently, I never saw part 3, so I understand. Aside
Yeah.
from that, though, 3 was like, yeah, that's at the bottom. Everything else, I had a hard time. I forced myself to like rank them, like which one I liked best, and it was like everything was like 0.5%. It's like they're all good.
Yeah, 3
I
is
like
the
them all.
only one that I would say is truly bad, and it's only bad
But
because they didn't really seem to. I don't know. It's kind of made for like it's a budget kind of
well, I
thing.
heard about it
Okay.
because I'd peek at the bonus features, and apparently it's the same writer wrote all the movies. Like the guy who came up with it, him and one of the producers have been like a consistent thing throughout all the movies. Cult of Chucky does not suck. It's pretty entertaining.
I liked it.
No, they made part 2, and then before part 2 was released, the studio came to him and said, "Okay, we want part 3." And it was such a rush job.
See,
He
yeah.
had to deliver the script in like a month or two, and Child's Play 3 was in theaters like 9 months after Child's Play 2 was released. They made it so quickly that he just didn't have time to like, what am I going to do? We need a script. Give us something.
Mm.
My opinion, if you remember Child's Play 3, at the end of it, it takes place in a little carnival.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They're at the military school, and then it goes
that's
to
right.
a carnival.
Yeah,
If the whole thing had been set in the carnival,
yeah.
and Chucky was like a prize doll or something, they worked things like that in there, whole movie would have been great. Because that last bit in the roller coaster was really fun.
Yeah, I
All
agree.
the military
Yeah.
school stuff. But to the credit of the franchise, they keep that going. Like that military school comes back later. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
see it with the character. They keep him around and
Yeah.
that. The one
Sasa-
thing that I did not appreciate though is the post-credit scene after Curse of Chucky. There's a post-credit scene that if you don't watch that, Cult of Chucky doesn't make any sense.
I don't know if I've seen it.
Because at the end of Curse of Chucky, that's the one with the girl in the wheelchair in the house.
Right.
And then at the end of the movie, spoilers everybody, she gets blamed for all the murders, and Chucky gets away.
Mm-hmm.
And Chucky is then recovered by Tiffany. She has like a cop steal the body, and then she's like, she takes him back to her house or whatever, and that's kind of where it ends. Then there's credits, and then I stopped. I didn't watch all the way past the credits, and then you start up the next movie, Cult, and it starts with Andy Barclay, the kid from the original movie, as an adult, and he's got this Chucky head in a safe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on? Where did this Chucky head come from? And apparently, if you watch the post-credit scene of the other movie, the Curse of Chucky, Tiffany mails Chucky to Andy Barclay at the end, and then he pulls out a shotgun and shoots Chucky. So that's where he got the head from.
I didn't know any of that. I did not
see, it's like it. I had watched these movies like out of order before, so I assumed I just missed something. But then watching them straight through, I was like, "Wait a minute, what's going on here?" And you need that little bit of information.
I just figured that he had found Chucky and kept him. I didn't think that there was any.
Well, up until that point, there's only the one Chucky, going through the whole thing, and then suddenly there are 3 in that last movie.
Yeah. Sauce wants to know if you've seen the Mark Hamill Chucky movie and what you thought of it.
I did see it. I did not care for it.
Yeah.
It's not a terrible movie, but it's not. There's no comparison to the Brad Dourif Chucky.
I think it would have been a good. It's a good movie if it was on its own. If it didn't have the Chucky license, like it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was Chucky and they turned him into a like android robot thing, and
he's like a
like,
smart toy.
yeah, like I get what they were trying to do, but it would have been a fun idea for like an episode of the Twilight Zone kind of show, or just do its own thing. It didn't have to be tied into Chucky. And I think part of the reason why I didn't enjoy it as much is because it was tied into Chucky, and you're just constantly comparing it to the Chucky that kind of thing. And it's really hard to switch that off and put in a new thing. Plus, I know that Richard didn't like all the kids in it because it was very kid driven, that movie. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, more than that, it was just. I guess it was really forgettable for everybody because they went and did that TV show and brought back
and they
the classic stuff.
They brought back everything in that TV show, like all like the references and everything from the movies, except for that one. That one's just like completely ignored.
Yeah, and a little. I take it you've seen the series then.
I've watched the first season. I have not watched the second.
Because I haven't seen it, but I do know that they're apparently bring back the character of Glenn and Glenda, which I was kind of disappointed that they disappeared in the later Chucky films.
Yeah. No, pretty much. Maybe that third movie isn't touched, but I think pretty much everything else is.
Well, the only thing that they'd take from that is that Andy Barclay went to that military school.
Yeah.
And then Chucky gets that's where he gets the stitch.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. I haven't seen Win Win yet. That's one of those movies I
guess it's it's just something I found in the shop, and I was like, well, all right, let's give this a shot. And I like it. It's a nice little indie film. Paul Giamatti's really good in it. And I guess it's just like one of those super small movies that you may be hard to just stumble across.
Yeah. Paul Giamatti usually does very well in those small independent films. So. They Live, I do need to give another chance. I didn't get very far in my.
I know that you didn't care for that movie.
It might have been because I don't mean to throw Sarah under the bus once again, but it might have been because I watched it with her.
Wow, what a
look!
slap
She has an effect on me that if I start watching something and she's not enjoying it, it's really hard for me to enjoy the movie because I'm just constantly like, okay, should I stop this? Should I? It really takes me out of the movie. So I don't know. A History of Violence. I haven't seen that one in forever. I don't.
Yeah, I might have to watch that one again. Rocket Sauce. He was giving me grief about my reaction to that movie. It felt really sleazy, violent. Like it wasn't enjoyable, but it didn't feel so deep that it was like a, great character movie or anything. It just felt a bit awkward to me.
I think that was the last VHS movie that was mass produced in North America.
Is that like its big claim to fame?
Yeah, I think it's that one. There's another Viggo Mortensen movie that came out around that time. It's one of the two. I found it interesting that you have a copy of Mask of Zorro on DVD in a CD jewel case.
That apparently was the thing when DVDs came out around here. I have a couple of them in those little CD cases.
Yeah, I kind of actually wish that they would have went with that because they take up a lot less space. So
they do. The one thing though, I mean, the case, kind of cool, but the quality of the films, those early DVDs,
yeah.
Like I have one like that of Leaving Las Vegas, and it's horrid to watch.
Yeah, a lot of times they just took the VHS and put it on the DVD. What did you think of G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra?
All right, I knew I had seen it before.
Oh, okay.
This is another movie that I just, whenever possible, I prefer to buy the North American packaged movie. Most of my movies I get locally, half the package is in Japanese and whatever. And I know you can switch all that when you get into the settings. And Blu-rays just, they just automatically load up because I have my player set to English. So I don't have to worry about messing with subtitles or anything like that. But I always prefer to buy the North American packaging. So when I look on Amazon, I specifically look to see, can I find stuff in US packaging? And that showed up again. It was like one of those weird deals. It was like less than $5. I was like, you know what? I like G.I. Joe. I had actually been watching a lot of G.I. Joe recently. I'm kind of out of it now. But I discovered that on YouTube, Hasbro has a YouTube channel, and they have uploaded all the original G.I. Joe cartoons. And what's better, the thing I was watching, they have a 24-hour live stream of the original G.I. Joe cartoon. So you can just click on that, and there's something playing. It'll be in the middle of an episode, but that's how I want to watch it. I just want to be able to turn on the TV and like, hey, G.I. Joe's on. I'll sit and watch this for a minute. Because if I ever bought the DVD set or something, I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to sit there and say like, okay, now I'm going to sit down and dedicate time to watching an episode of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. Yeah. I will never do it. But if it's just on, I've watched it like 5 or 6 times over, It's just how it is. So I was watching it and I was like, you know what? This show's kind of fun. It's really like a fun cartoon. They made that movie a few years ago. I saw it back then and I was like, it's okay. It's a little silly, but I like it was directed by Steven Sommers, who did the Mummy movies and Van Helsing. And I like his movies. They're fun popcorn movies. The ones he directed, not the ones he produced. So I was like, I'll give it another shot. For like $5, I'll give it a shot. It's not great. There are things about it I like. I think it does hit that silly factor where, G.I. Joes are just little toys. It's just toy commercials. Right. So there are parts of the movie where they're in these like vehicles that look like toys. It's like, this is totally silly. Yeah. Or they go to this G.I. Joe base and they're in an elevator and it's going down and like one floor is like airplanes. The next level is like water and there's like this giant swimming pool that they're like shooting around in and it goes down to another level. It's silly. And I like it for that. They have like laser guns. They go pew, pew, pew. The only problem with the movie really is that the main actor was not Tom Hardy. Who's the other guy that looks like Tom Hardy? Channing Tatum.
Okay.
And he's one of those neck actors.
I think I've
coined a phrase there. Well, you know how actors like they act in their face. Look at Jack Nicholson, the way he uses his eyes and distorts his face. Jack Black too. Watching Nacho Libre, he's really good at moving his face around. Channing Tatum and those kind of guys, they go like this. They act like this. They stick their neck out. And he's like, "Yeah, we gotta go, sir. We're gonna get this done. We're gonna stop Cobra." There's a lot of actors like that. They show their neck.
I'll have to watch for that.
No.
Neck actors.
The guy from Pacific Rim is the same. You want me to go to the Jaeger?
Charlie Hunnam? Is that his name?
Yeah. Good for you. 10 points.
Yeah. Well, I watched Sons of Anarchy, so. Yeah. Okay. So, thumbs up for G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll watch it again, or maybe I'll skip through and watch some of the bonus features or something.
What about Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters?
I do like them. I've seen that movie a couple of times.
I think you talked about it before, right?
I'm sure I have. I like it. It's cheap trash, but it's fun. Again, when movies are like 90 minutes and there's something about them you like, you can forget about the parts that don't work so well. And it's like, that's fun. I like watching Jeremy Renner punch Famke Janssen. What's her name? Jean Grey? Famke, whatever her name. He's at the end of the movie. He's like, she's like strung up on a chain. He's like punching her like a punching bag, and she's a witch, and she's like her face is all witch-like. But then like he's punching her, and then she switches back to like a normal face. He's like, "Oh, please." He's like, "Yeah, nice try," and starts punching her again.
Wow. I was surprised to see this exchange on on Twitter that you actually enjoyed Airheads. I'm quite surprised.
Yeah.
About that. So that's an Adam Sandler joint.
No. That is not an Adam Sandler joint. Adam Sandler is in the movie.
Quite a bit.
It is not focused on him, and he doesn't annoy me in that movie. The one little moment where he starts doing that screamy voice,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
very minor. Overall, I thought that was a very well directed film. I was very happy with that. I remember I saw it in like a secondhand shop, and I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this. But then I looked at a trailer, and I was like, oh, there's Michael McKean, there's Michael Richards, there's
Yeah.
Chris Farley, like there's Ernie Hudson,
Harold
Like,
Ramis.
yeah, half of the Ghostbusters are in that movie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then I was like, what? All these people are in this movie. I don't even remember hearing about this. So I figured, I'll give it a shot. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a well done movie.
I loved it back in the day when it was out because of its, the whole message. Like, I was a metalhead. I loved heavy metal music. I hated the whole grunge scene and all that.
Mhm.
And so this movie kind of spoke my language because a lot of it was kind of about that, right? Being true to the heavy metal music that they liked, and they were trying to get that on the air versus this grunge stuff that was coming in.
Mhm.
And in hindsight, the movie totally got it wrong because grunge completely took over. Heavy metal died a death, and really heavy metal was becoming a huge MTV, a driven, marketed for the radio kind of, whereas grunge was kind of bringing the rock and roll back kind of thing. So rightfully so how it happened. But I don't know, like when I watched it again, I guess because in my mind, I had the movie up here, right?
Mhm.
And when I watched it, it was kind of like just down here. Like it wasn't as good as I remembered it. And I didn't enjoy it as much as I did. Like there was a lot of it's kind of, I don't know, a lot of it didn't really work that well. I enjoyed all the cameos. I thought Chris Farley was great, and Harold Ramis was great. But there was something, I don't know, like, I don't know, a lot of the movie just didn't kind of mesh.
Well, I went in expecting not much, and I got like, hey, that was better than I wanted.
So it's all about that perspective. Like that happens so often,
Well, I mean, your perspective on movies changes from time to time. Like I watched Starship Troopers the other day, and that was a movie that I was like so on, and I was like, wow, I really like this movie. And then I don't know, like a year or so ago, I watched it, and I was like, I don't know, I'm not kind of feeling it today. And then I watched it the other day, and I was like, whoa, I was right back up there. So it's like sometimes you need to be in the right mood for a certain movie.
That reminds me, you brought up Paul Verhoeven. I was playing a game. I just finished it actually about an hour before we started recording, called XCOM Enemy Unknown. It's an old Xbox 360 game, and it's been ported over to the new Xbox. So I've been playing it through the backwards compatibility. But they have these aliens in the game called the Thin Man, and I swear to God, these Thin Man aliens look like Clarence Boddicker from RoboCop. It looks exactly like Red from that 70s show, that actor. I'm blanking on his name.
I know his name. What's his name?
But
he's got a weird name.
In RoboCop, he still has like the balding head and still has the dark hair, and he wears like those little glasses, and that's how they have him dressed up in this game. And it just, I don't know. So look up the Thin Man from XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Well, could it be possible they had some sort of agreement with him?
I think they were I think they were just RoboCop fans, because there is eventually in the game you can build a mech to help you through some of the areas, and there's a lot of references to Ed 209. That are just kind of peppered in there. So I don't know if they did it intentionally or not. I wonder if I can bring up an image of it. Let's see.
I see him in.
Am I off on that?
I guess it's the glasses, really. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Just like how the.
There is one shot here where he's kind of screaming.
Yeah.
He's got his mouth open. And yeah, he's kind of like got the receding hairline, those little spectacles. I can see a little something there.
Let's see here. Let's see if I can. Slides, extra camera, video file, share screen. Do that one. Little Chrome tab. Let's see. See there.
Yeah, go to the shot where he's kind of like looking up, so where it's like shot from below. Go down a little bit.
This one? Okay, yeah. Oh, it's not
Like
very good.
something like that with the frown he's got.
Yeah.
It does seem very reminiscent of why can't I remember his name?
Clarence Boddicker. Okay, Google. Who is the actor who played Clarence Boddicker in RoboCop?
Clarence J. Boddicker was played by Kurtwood Smith.
Kurtwood Smith.
There you go.
Oh.
Boom. So, there you go.
They might have taken inspiration.
I don't know. Just every time I saw him, he just kind of looked like him to me.
I'm sure you're not the only one who's
Yes, Red
brought that up.
That's right. Okay. Oh, and yeah, and you watched The Lost Boys. Are you a fan of that movie, The Lost Boys?
That's another one of the movies that it's like when I was a kid, absolutely, I was all in. I was like, oh, this is a great vampire movie. It's a great 80s movie. It's a great movie overall. Is it this? And then over the years, I was like, okay. And then it's another one of those movies that when I'm in the mood for it, sure, I'm all in. Silly, good fun. I don't hold it as highly as some other people do, but I have nothing against it.
I couldn't even finish it.
Yeah, I know you weren't
This
into
is
it.
not for me. I don't like vampires to begin with, so it's got to be like for me, it's got to be something really interesting.
Speaking of not into vampires, have you ever seen Shadow of the Vampire with William Dafoe and John Malkovich?
I have it on DVD. It's been sitting on the shelf for like 5 years. I have not gotten to it yet.
I saw that and I was like, hey, I kind of remember this. This looks interesting. William Dafoe, I like William Dafoe. He's playing the Nosferatu vampire, Count Orlok. It's like, that's got to be great. And he is great. Like the makeup and everything and his performance, he does a very good job with that. That movie was so boring. I couldn't believe it. It was just one of those. We think we're doing something really special here. Isn't this fantastic? What an art piece kind of a movie. I was very disappointed.
That's interesting because that movie was recommended to me because I don't like vampires. I was like, oh, you don't like vampires? You'll like this movie. And so I put it on a list and I found it when I was out and about one day. I'm like, oh, there's that movie that they were talking about. So,
I got a stack of movies back there that I'm getting rid of because two of them are vampire movies because they were so boring. The other, you've seen the Underworld movies?
Yes.
Kate Beckinsale?
Yes.
The first one I have no problem with. I think it's like just dumb action, great, cool stuff. So I tried watching the second one. Wow, was it bad?
Yeah.
I can watch the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah.
But I couldn't watch that Underworld movie.
I'm with you. I had them all on Blu-ray for a while, and I got rid of them. I'm like, I'm never gonna watch these. And I think it's the third movie where it is the most oversaturated film I have ever seen. They crank the saturated level so far to the right. I don't know how anyone can watch it.
I don't know. Is that the one where they're in they have the actress that looks like Kate Beckinsale but isn't Kate Beckinsale?
I think so. If I remember correctly.
The first one I know I can watch. The second one I thought was so dull. I tried watching like all of them at some point, and I would get in like 30 minutes and like I can't do this anymore and just shut them off. They're so bad.
They are pretty bad.
And I also watched I think it was Robert Zemeckis, the Beowulf movie. That's
Oh,
like a
yeah.
CG one.
Yeah.
Boy, was that a turkey.
Really? Yeah. I've
Yeah,
not heard good things about it ever.
No, it's so weird because it's early 2000s CG. So you know, like Shrek. You see the people in Shrek. They have like no real articulation in their faces and stuff,
Yeah.
which works for Shrek. But
Well,
this,
Shrek
it's
is
like
kind of cartoony, so you can.
yes, but this one, it's like they went so hard trying to make it look realistic. Because I
Yeah.
didn't even know it was a CG movie when I first saw the trailer. I guess I wasn't paying attention. I just thought it was like a live action thing. And the way they were promoting, like, oh, Anthony Hopkins, Angelina Jolie, you know, all the actors who were in it. And they worked so hard to make it look like real, but then they have him doing things where he's like climbing, you know, jumping and flipping in the beams of the rooftops and doing these crazy cartoony things. It's like, which way are you going? Is it supposed to be crazy adventure or super real?
Hmm.
And it was just boring.
Well, that's a problem. Anytime they go realistic with a lot of movies, is that they don't age well, right?
Yeah.
Because I got rid of a movie in my collection because the CG was so bad, and actually the movie's not that great. And that was Air Force One. And I was like, you know what?
I've heard about that. I've never seen it, but apparently there's like a crazy like plane crash or something. It's just like
so bad, so
looks
bad.
like a Sega Saturn.
It's awful. I don't even know how it made it to theaters. And the movie itself is not that great. I remember liking it back in the day. I think I saw it in the theater, if I remember correctly. But yeah,
I remember the trailers for that, and you know the plane that sacrifices itself to get in front of the missile or whatever.
yeah.
But for the longest time, and I think it's still fairly true, outside of Star Wars and Indiana Jones, I really haven't seen too many Harrison Ford movies. I've seen Witness. I've seen
Yeah.
The Fugitive.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, it's been a very long time. But a lot of those, like, he did those John Grisham kind of movies.
Patriot
you know,
Games.
like I haven't seen any of those.
Those were good. The two he did were
Yeah.
good.
I don't know.
Patriot Games
A lot
and
of-
Clear and Present Danger.
I don't know. There's a lot of his filmography that I've just never seen.
Yeah.
He was in the third Expendables movie. I saw that.
Dean has to plug his library as usual and say there's a book called Monsters in the Dark, which is a deep dive into the making of XCOM. Probably something in there. So I'll have to check that out. I'll have to go to the video game library and see if they got it. If I can take it out.
AKA Dean's house.
Okay. I think that's it. I think we're good. We didn't do an outline for this one.
No, I wasn't sure if we were doing one, and then I didn't even check, and I wrote stuff down on a piece of paper.
Yeah, I don't think we didn't really need it for this one because we had to catch up. We had like 4 months to catch up on. So.
I did write down a few things of note, but did you know Michael J. Fox got an Oscar?
I saw something with Michael J. Fox.
He just got an honorary Oscar, and I was going to say, I agree. I'm like you. I think the Oscars as an annual thing are largely meaningless. You know, it's like we got to give it to somebody.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be a best actor every year.
No,
maybe nobody did anything that special.
Right.
But with those lifetime achievements or the honorary ones, those are the ones that often have a lot more weights to them for me.
Well, why would they give it to him now? Why wouldn't they give it to him?
They gave it to him for his work with Parkinson's disease. And for me, that's the Academy saying, look, you're one of our guys, and you did something really good here. And we just want to say we acknowledge that you've been working hard doing something, even though it had nothing to do with film.
Right.
It's just, hey, you're one of our guys. Thanks so much for everything you've been doing.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to give somebody an Oscar. Give them the lifetime achievement. Like did Scorsese get one Oscar so far? Only one
Google,
or something?
How many Oscars has Martin Scorsese won?
Martin Scorsese won the Academy Award for Best Director for The Departed in 2007.
Yeah, he won for The
There you go.
Departed. There you go.
Now, Martin Scorsese deserves a Lifetime Achievement Oscar.
Sure,
He
yeah.
deserved many of his films deserved individual Oscars that he didn't get, but that's someone who, like, thank you very much for all the work you've done, So I agree. I think Christopher Lloyd should get an Oscar too. Just saw him
I think he
in,
should have got one for Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. I mean,
Yeah.
how many movies has he done? How many things? And he was just in that Nobody movie too. He's still going.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. He was the dad.
He was a
What-
dad with a shotgun that should have broke his his shoulder.
Like, he should have won. He should have won 1985 for Back to the Future because that character is iconic. I
He
mean,
is, yeah.
Okay, Google. Who won Best Supporting Actor in the Oscars in 1985?
For the 1st of January 1985, the 31st of December 1985, the Academy Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role winner was Hang S. Nagur.
Yeah, who?
For what? What was
Yeah,
that?
nobody remembers that. Holly S. McGurr. Okay, Google. What movie did S. McGurr win an Oscar for?
According to Wikipedia, Rain Man is a movie famous in particular for its portrayal of a man with both autism and Savant syndrome, leading much of its viewing audience to understand the intellectual capabilities
Rain
of those
Man.
with autism. And
Okay, Google,
never-
stop. Just
I've
quiet.
never seen Rain Man.
Rain Man's I'm not a Tom Cruise fan at all. In fact, I am in the camp that he's totally overrated. But that movie is legit. Mostly because of Dustin Hoffman, but Tom Cruise is in it, so
Okay.
Rocky beat out his movie Taxi Driver for Best Picture. Oh yeah, Scorsese. Well, Rocky is a good movie too.
I do like Rocky more than Taxi Driver. Fair, I haven't seen Taxi Driver nearly as many times as I've seen Rocky.
Well, part of the reason why Rocky won was because it was that rags to riches
Yeah,
story.
it's the uplifting, look at us, so great, America. Taxi Driver is like,
Yeah, it's like
the
how bad is
scumbags.
everything? Yeah,
He's an assassin.
yeah. Okay, we've lost most of our listeners. I blame the political talk in the middle there, but
Mhm.
sometimes you just gotta for some reason. I don't know why. But I don't have any notes, so I don't know how we end the show anymore. I didn't know how we did before. That's why I had notes. I do want to mention though I think it's December. I think it's not this weekend. I think it's December 3rd and 4th. Is that charity stream that the Cartridge Club puts on for the
Rocket
children's-
Sauce is in that. He can tell you.
Yeah, it's for one of the children's hospitals in Hamilton. They raise some money. It's always a good time. It's on the Twitch, so just head over to the Cartridge Club somewhere, and they'll let you know all about it. Usually, this is the first year that I have not been involved in it because there was just too much going on when they were setting it up, and I was like, I don't know if I'll be ready by December 3rd. December 2nd to 4th, that's when it's on. So it's always a good time. The Q Dogs are out there. I should leave that up a little. Q Dogs, they always put on a good show. Hopefully they're in on it this year. So just wanted to plug that. Put that on your calendar. Say, this is what you do. Say, okay, Google, remind me of the Cartridge Club charity stream on December 2nd.
Okay, the Cartridge Club charity stream. This will be for December 2nd. At what time?
4 p.m.
Got it. I'll remind you on December 2nd at 4 p.m.
There you go. Oh, look at that. Sauce is going to do a tribute to me. So he's going to be playing some American
You're
Truck
gonna wear the
Simulator.
trucker hat.
Right on. Do some American Truck Simulator. Put down the Nintendo 64. Pick up a man's PC and play some American Truck Simulator. That's how you do a tribute to me. I actually should go on Steam because I noticed that a lot of the Truck Simulator DLC is on sale. So I
It's
should
Black
go check
Friday
that out.
sale right now.
Yeah, I should go check that out. But right now, we got to wrap this up because got to go eat and all that stuff. But
Exactly. Hungry. Here.
great talking to you again, Richard. I really missed our chats. So awesome to be
you know,
back.
for a while there, I was like, "Hey, are we coming back?
It
When are we doing
was.
this?"
I did not think it would be that long, but it has been so crazy. Like everyone's like, "Oh, do you miss work and all that stuff?" I haven't even had time to think about missing, work. It's just been every day. It's just been so insane, like just filled with stuff. And then when we actually moved, I was sick, and then our bank was giving us a whole bunch of trouble because we were coming into all this cash from the sale of our house, and they wanted to put their greedy. There was so much going on. It was insane. So, but anyways, now things are starting to level off. It's starting to calm down, and I can get back to doing the things I enjoy, which is talking to Richard every 2 weeks on Fridays at 4 or 5, depending on if we switch the.
You really got to get rid of that time zone switch.
They keep threatening to do it.
Yeah.
Threatening to do it, and I hope that they just pick one. I don't care which one. Just pick one, and let's go. Let's do this.
All right.
Okay. Thanks everybody who was in the chat. Rocket Sauce, Dean, Derek. We had Steven.
Kyle. We had Steven.
Kyle. We had about 8 people there for a while, and then now it's down to 1 because everyone's like, yeah. They're like, oh, Retro Fandango's back. And then after 5 minutes, like, oh, yeah, Retro Fandango's back.
There you go.
Yeah. So there you go. We're back. We'll see you in 2 weeks. All right.
Same old, same old.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hitting end broadcast.